What is actually a recovery KvK? Well, it's when you sign up for a KvK after a hard KvK where you depleted most of your resources and speed ups, and instead of staying in the off season longer, you decide to queue up in a KvK like Kingdom of the Nile, where you will, gather resources in Lost Kingdom, get many rewards as you can, but arguably the best reward require you to get a lot of kills, mainly these two achievements. And if you don't have a fighting KvK, you're forced to trade, and that trade also takes you billions of resources. That will probably be cheaper if you fought in a standard way. So as you can see, I'm not too impressed with these, even though I'm currently in one, and I'll go a bit more in depth after a quick word from our sponsor.
Top Up Live is a site where you can buy various bundles in a hefty catalog of games for a cheaper price. Once you sign up, you have multiple coupons to redeem and use. It offers a variety of payment methods such as PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, Apple and Google Pay, among others. And if you use my promo code EMIR, you will have an additional 12% discount on your first purchase. Thanks to Top Up Live for sponsoring this video.
Out of my last 4 KvKs, 2 have been recovery KvKs. And the first one, I'm still a bit salty about it because this was back in 2293 with my other account that I played, and before joining I was told we were to queue up with 1093 and other big kingdoms. We would have a really big KvK. I was really hyped for it because this would be a chance to prove myself in these KvKs, bring more people to the channel, and since I was freshly migrated, I would have to invest into tech and get resources, and I was excited for it. But then when the KvK came, it turned out to be a very boring farming KvK, and that really deflated my excitement for that account. And after that, it just didn't feel the same way. I played one more KvK there with the usual like AC type of KvK. It was fun, but I was ultimately not in it, and I decided to return the account and focus on only my account, because maintaining 2 accounts actively takes a lot of time, and I'm not a full-time content creator, so I don't really have the time, nor do I want that to really occupy most of my days. But right now I'm playing my main account, and I'm in a recovery KvK, and when you look at it from interior perspective, it's nice. It's Kingdom of the Nile, it's labeled as like a recovery KvK experience, and this is my first time playing it, and I gotta say it's interesting. I like the layout, I like the functions. I especially like the altar zones, where you can bring 5 marches to the altars, and I think that is a lot of fun. But unfortunately, because we are the strongest camp, or strongest side of the camp, there are 2 camps in this KvK, so you can't get kill that counts from battling your campmates. So it's in an awkward position if you don't have an opponent who wants to fight you actively. You kinda not getting the full rewards that you might get if you actually get some fights. So the ones that I truly care about might be really hard to reach, or in the worst case scenario is really expensive to trade. And if it comes to the trade, I'm probably not going to do it at all, and that kind of hurts, because this is a type of KvK where you prepare your armaments, your resources, speed ups, but ultimately I cannot get the best reward possible, as well as getting myself another autarch, because I need 10 million kills for the fragment. So very demoralizing in a way, especially because this KvK affects a lot of your commitment, real life commitment, and this was a KvK where I had a lot of free time to really play the game. And I know for some people that can be disappointing to have a KvK that you know wanted to have a good time in, perform, but you didn't have any fights, or when you queue up in the KvK and you don't really have much time to commit to fighting. So I just don't want people to think of these KvKs as like free rewards everywhere. Like it's just free real estate. You get everything, but it still costs you a lot, and in the end you may not even get the rewards that you truly want. And if you do a lot of these recovery KvKs, you might earn yourself a reputation that as a kingdom that doesn't really fight, they're just farmers, and you don't want that. So honestly, this might feel like a ranting video in a way, but I feel like I believe recovery KvKs do more harm than good. And after experiencing it firsthand, I can definitely see it, because after my first recovery KvK, I really felt like, you know, you spend months not fighting, and when it comes to fighting, you're not even like excited for it. And I had that situation in '93. I didn't really fight until like the very last zone or Kingsland, and after that, I just called it a day. And now I'm in 2885, and the time that I wanted to actually have a decent performance, you know, get something content-wise as well, it's fell apart because they don't want to fight us. Now there might be some fight by the end of KvK, but I'm not really optimistic anymore, which, you know, just a consequence of doing these type of KvKs, and we in leadership really decided not to queue up for these type of KvKs anymore, or at the very least have it be a competitive one, like something that is actually going to be exciting. So let me know your experience. Have you ever done a recovery KvK? Do you have any suggestions or feedback that you want to share? Let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.